Chapter 29. Stories of Chennai's Bhajani Mela, Tendulkar's father and son, Dr. Captain Hate, Woman Narvekar. This chapter describes other interesting and wonderful stories of Sai Baba. Chennai's Bhajani Mela. It was in the year 1916 when a Chennai's Bhajani Mela, party of Ramdasi Panth, started on a pilgrimage to the holy city of Banaras. The party consisted of a man, his wife, daughter and sister-in-law. Unfortunately, their names are not mentioned. On their way, the party heard that there lived in Shirdi, Ahmednagar district, a great saint named Sai Baba, who was God-realized and who was very generous and distributed money every day to his bhaktas and to skillful persons who went and showed their talent there. A lot of money in the form of dakshina was collected daily by Sai Baba, and out of this amount, he gave daily 1 rupee to a 3-year girl, Amani, the daughter of a Bhakta Kondaji, and 2 rupees to 5 rupees to some, 6 rupees to Jamali, the mother of Amani, and 10 to 20 rupees or even 50 rupees to other bhaktas as he pleased. On hearing all this, the party came to Shirdi and stayed there. The Mela did very good bhajan and sang very good songs, but inwardly they desired money. 3 of the party were full of avarice, but the lady or mistress was of a very different nature. She had regard and love for Baba. Once it so happened that when the noonday aarti was going on, Baba was much pleased with her faith and devotion and gave her vision of her Ishta deity. To her, Baba appeared as Sita Nath, while to others the usual Sainath. On seeing her beloved deity, she was very much moved. Tears began to flow from her eyes and she clapped her hands in joy. The people began to wonder at her joyful mood, but were not able to guess its cause. Late in the afternoon, she disclosed everything to her husband. She told him how she saw Sri Ram in Sai Baba. He thought that she was a very simple and devout woman and her seeing Ram might be a creation of her mind. He ignored her, saying it was not possible that she alone should see Ram while they all saw Sai Baba there. She did not resent this remark, as she was fortunate enough to get Ram Darshan. Wonderful vision. Things were going on like this when the husband got a strange vision in his dream one night. He was in a big city. The police there had arrested him, tied his hands with a rope and put him in a cage. As the police were tightening the grip, he saw Sai Baba standing quiet outside near the cage. On seeing Baba so close, he said in a plaintive tone, "After hearing your fame, I resorted to your feet. Then why should a calamity befall me when you are standing here in person?" Baba said, "You must suffer the consequences of your action." He said, "I have not done anything in this life which would bring such misfortune on me." Baba said, "If not in this life, you must have committed some sin in your past life." He replied, "I do not know anything of my past life, but assuming that I did commit some sin, then why should it not be burnt and destroyed in your presence as happens to dry grass before fire?" Baba said, "Have you got such faith?" The man said, "Yes." Baba then asked him to close his eyes. No sooner did he shut them than he heard a thumping sound of something falling down, and after opening his eyes, he saw that he was free and the police fallen down bleeding. Being much frightened, he began to look at Baba, who said, "Now you're well caught. Officers will now come and arrest you." The man begged, "There is no other savior except you. Save me somehow." Then Baba again asked him to close his eyes. He did so, and when he opened them again, he saw he was free out of the cage and that Baba was by his side. He then fell at Baba's feet. Baba then asked him, "Is there any difference between this namaskar and your previous ones? Think well and then reply." The man said, "There is a lot of difference. My former namaskars were offered with the object of getting money from you, but the present namaskar is one offered to you as God. Besides, earlier I thought resentfully that you being a Muslim was spoiling us, the Hindus. Baba said, "Do you not believe in your mind in Muslim gods?" The man said, "No." Baba replied, "Have you not got a panja in your house, and do you not worship the same in Tabut, that is Muharram festival? Also, there is in your house another deity by named Kad Bibi, whom you respect and appease on marriage occasions and other festivals. Is it not so?" The man admitted all this. Then Baba said, "What more do you want?" A desire arose in his mind to get the darshan of his Guru Ramdas when Baba asked him to turn back and see. And when he turned around, lo, Ramdas was in front of him. No sooner did he bend to fall at his feet, Ramdas vanished. Then he asked Baba, "You look old. Do you know your age?" Baba said, "What? Do you say I'm old? Just race with me and see." On saying this, Baba began to run and he too followed. Baba disappeared in the dust raised by his footsteps while running, and at that moment, man was awakened. After awakening, he began to think seriously about the dream vision. His mental attitude was completely changed, and he realized the greatness of Baba. After this, his doubting tendencies disappeared, and pure devotion to Baba's feet descended on his mind. The vision was a mere dream, but the questions and answers therein were most significant and interesting. Next morning, when all the persons assembled in the masjid for the arati, Baba gave him as prasad 2 rupees worth sweetmeats, and also 2 rupees from his pocket, and blessed him. He made him stay there for a few more days and gave him his blessing, saying, "Allah will give you plenty and He will do you all good." He did not get more money there, but he got far better things, Baba's blessing, which stood him in good stead all along. The party got plenty of money later, and their pilgrimage was successful as they did not suffer any trouble or inconvenience during their journey. They all returned home safe, thinking of Baba's words and blessings and the bliss they experienced by his grace. This story illustrates one of the methods that Baba followed in some cases to improve and reform his devotees. Tendulkar family. There lived in Bandra a Tendulkar family, all the members of which were devoted to Baba. Mrs. Savitri Bai Tendulkar has published a Marathi book named Sri Sainath Bhajan Mala, containing 800 abhangas and padas describing the leelas of Baba. It is a book worth reading by those who are interested in Baba. The son, Babu Tendulkar, was studying hard day and night and wanted to appear for the medical examination. He consulted some astrologers. On examining his horoscope, they told him that the stars were not favorable that year and that he should appear for the examination next year when he would be certainly successful. This cast a gloom over him and made him restless. A few days later, his mother went to Shirdi and saw Baba. Among other things, she mentioned the gloomy and morose condition of her son who was to appear for the examination in a few days. On hearing this, Baba said to her, "Tell your son to believe me, to throw aside horoscopes and predictions of astrologers and palmists, and go on with his studies. Let him appear for the examination with a calm mind. He is sure to pass this year. Ask him to trust me and not to get disappointed." The mother returned home and communicated Baba's message to her son. Then he studied hard and in due course appeared for the examination. In the written papers he did well, but being overtaken by doubt, he thought that he would not secure sufficient marks for passing. So he did not care to appear for the oral examination. But the examiner was after him. He sent word through a fellow student stating that he had passed in the written examination and that he should appear for the oral. The son, being thus encouraged, appeared for the oral examination and was successful in it too. Thus, he got through the examination that year successfully by Baba's grace, although the stars were against him as indicated. It is to be noted here that doubts and difficulties surround us just to move us and confirm our faith. We are tested, as it were. If we only hold on steadily to Baba with full faith and continue our endeavor, our efforts will be ultimately crowned with success. The father of this boy, Raghunath Rao, was serving in some foreign mercantile firm in Mumbai. As he grew old, he was not able to attend to his work properly, and so he had to leave and rest. As he did not improve during the period of leave, a further extension of leave or premature retirement from service was inevitable. The chief manager of the firm decided to retire him on pension as he was an old and a reliable servant. The question regarding the amount of pension to be given was under consideration. He was getting 150 rupees per month, and his pension, that is half the amount, rupees 75, would not be enough to meet the expenses of the family. So they were all anxious about this matter. 15 days before the final settlement, Baba appeared to Mrs. Tendulkar in her dream and said, "I wish that 100 rupees should be settled as pension. Will this satisfy you?" Mrs. Tendulkar replied, "Baba, why ask me this? We fully trust in you." Though Baba said 100 rupees, still he was given 10 rupees more, that is 110 rupees as a special case. Such wonderful love and care did Baba exhibit towards his bhaktas. Captain Hate. Captain Hate, who was staying in Bikaner, was a great devotee of Baba. Once, Baba appeared to him in his dream and said, "Did you forget me?" Hate then immediately held Baba's feet and replied, "If a child forgets his mother, how could he be saved?" Then Hate went into the garden and took out fresh valpapudi vegetables, and after arranging Shiddha and Dakshina, was about to offer all of this to Baba, when he was awakened and came to know that the whole thing was a dream. He decided to send all these things to Baba at Shirdi. When he came to Gwalior some days later, he sent rupees 12 by money order to a friend with instructions that 2 rupees should be spent in buying Siddha articles and Valpapudi vegetables, and those should be offered to Baba with 10 rupees as Dakshina. The friend went to Shirdi and purchased the things mentioned, but Valpapudi was not available. In a short time, a woman turned up with a basket on her head, which curiously enough contained the Valpapudi vegetables. It was purchased, and then all the things were offered to Baba on behalf of Captain Hate. Mr. Nimonkar prepared the Naivedya of rice and Valpapudi vegetables the next day and offered the same to Baba. All the people were surprised to see that Baba, while dining, took and ate Valpapudi and did not touch rice and other things. Hate's joy knew no bounds when he learnt this from his friend. Consecrated Rupee. At another time, Captain Hate wished that he should have in his house a rupee consecrated by Baba with his touch. He came across a friend who was bound for Shirdi. Through him, Hate sent his rupee. The friend went to Shirdi and after the usual salutation gave first his dakshina, which Baba accepted. Then he gave Hate's rupee, which Baba took in his hand and began to gaze at it. He held it in front, tossed it up with his right thumb and played with it. Then he said to the friend, "Return this to its owner with the prasad of Udi. Tell him that I want nothing from him. Ask him to live in peace and contentment." The friend returned to Gwalior, handed over the consecrated rupee to Hate and told him all that happened at Shirdi. This time, Hate was much pleased and realized that Baba always encouraged good thoughts and as he wished intently. Vaman Narvekar. Now, let the readers hear a different story. A gentleman named Vaman Narvekar loved Baba very much. He once brought a rupee. On one side of it were engraved the figures of Ram, Lakshman and Sita, and on the reverse side was engraved the figure of Maruti with folded hands. He offered it to Baba with the hope that he should consecrate it with his touch and return it to him with Udi. But Baba immediately pocketed it. Then Shama spoke to Baba regarding Vaman Rao's intention and requested him to return it. Then Baba spoke in the presence of Vaman Rao. "Why should it be returned to him? We should keep it ourselves. If he gives 25 rupees for it, it will be returned." Then, for the sake of that rupee, Vaman Rao collected 25 rupees and placed them before Baba. Then Baba said, "The value of that rupee far exceeds 25 rupees. Shama, take this rupee. Let us have it in our store. Keep this in your shrine and worship it." No one had the courage to ask Baba why he followed this peculiar action. He only knows what is best and most suitable to each and all. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 30. Drawn to Shirdi. Kakaji Vaidya of Vani, Ramlal Punjabi of Mumbai. In this chapter, the story of two more devotees who were drawn to Shirdi is narrated. Preliminary. Bow to the kind Sai, who is the abode of mercy and who is affectionate towards his devotees. By his mere darshan, he does away with their fear of worldly illusions and destroys their calamities. He was first Nirgun, but on account of the devotion of his bhaktas, he was obliged to take a form. To give liberation, self-realization to the bhaktas is the mission of the saints, and for Sai, the chief of them, that mission is inevitable. Those who take refuge in his feet have all their sins destroyed, and their progress is certain. Remembering his feet, Brahmins from holy places come to him and read scriptures and chant the Gayatri mantra in his presence. We who are weak and without any merits do not know what bhakti is, but we know this much, that though all others may leave us, Sai won't forsake us. Those whom he favors get enormous strength, discrimination between the unreal and the real, and knowledge. Sai knows fully the desire of his devotees and fulfills the same. Hence, they get what they want and are grateful. So we invoke him and prostrate ourselves before him. Forgetting all our faults, let him free us from all anxieties. He who, being overcome with calamities, remembers and prays Sai thus, will get his mind calmed and pacified through his grace. This Sai, the ocean of mercy, says Hemat Pant, favored him, and the result of this is a present work, Sai Satcharitra. Otherwise, what qualifications had he to undertake this enterprise? But as Sai took all the responsibility, Hemat Pant felt no burden, nor any care about this. When the powerful light of knowledge was there to inspire his speech and pen, why should he entertain any doubt or feel any anxiety? Sai got the service in the form of this book done by him. This is due to the accumulation of his merits in the past births, and therefore he thinks himself fortunate and blessed. The following story is not a mere tale, but pure nectar. He who drinks it will realize Sai's greatness and all-pervasiveness. Those who want to argue and criticize should not go in for this. What is wanted here is not discussion, but unlimited love and devotion. Learned, devout and faithful believers, or those who consider themselves as servants of the saints, will like and appreciate these stories. Others will take them to be fables. The fortunate bhaktas of Sai will find the Sai Leelas as a kalpatru. Drinking in or devouring this nectar of Sai Leelas will give liberation to the ignorant jivas, satisfaction to the householders, and a sadhana to the aspirants. Now we come to the story of this chapter. Kakaji Vaidya. There lived in Vani, Nasik district, a man named Kakaji Vaidya. He was the priest of the goddess Saptashringi there. He was so overpowered by adverse circumstances and calamities that he lost peace of mind and became quite restless. Under such circumstances, one evening he went into the temple of the goddess and prayed unto her from the bottom of his heart and invoked her aid to free him from anxiety. The goddess was pleased with his devotion, and the same night appeared to him in his dream and said, "You go to Baba, and then your mind will become calm and composed." Kakaji was anxious to know from her who this Baba was, but before he could get any explanation, he was awakened. Then he began to think as to who might be this Baba to whom the goddess had asked him to go. After some thinking, he resolved this Baba might be Triambakeshwar, Lord Shiva. So he went to the holy place Triambak in Nasik district and stayed there for 10 days. During this period, he bathed early in the morning, chanted the Rudra hymns, did the Abhishek, and did other religious rites. But with all this, he was as restless as before. Then he returned to the place and again invoked the goddess most pitifully. That night, she again appeared in his dream and said, "Why did you go to Triambakeshwar in vain? I mean by Baba, Sri Sai Samarth of Shirdi." The question before Kakaji now was how and when to go to Shirdi and how to see Baba. If anybody is in real earnest to see a saint, not only the saint but God also fulfills his wish. In fact, the saint and the Anant are one and the same. There is not the least difference between them. If anybody thinks that he will go on his own wish and see a saint, that will be a mere boast. Unless the saint wills it, no one is able to go and see him. Even the leaf of the tree will not move without his bidding. The more anxious a bhakta is for the visit to the saint, the more devout and faithful he is, the more speedily and effectively is his wish satisfied to his heart's content. He who invites anybody for a visit also arranges everything for his reception, and so it happened with Kakaji. Shama's vows. When Kakaji was thinking about his intended visit to Shirdi, a guest came to him at his place to take him to Shirdi. He was no other than Shama, a very close and intimate devotee of Baba. How he came to Vani at this juncture, we shall just see. Shama was severely ill when he was very young, and his mother had taken a vow to her family goddess Saptashringi at Vani that if her son got well, she would bring him and dedicate him at her feet. Then after some years, the mother herself suffered much from ringworms on her breasts. At that time, she again took another vow to her deity that if she got all right, she would offer her 2 silver breasts. These 2 vows remained unfulfilled. At her deathbed, she called her son Shama and drew his attention to the vows, and after taking a promise from him that he would fulfill them, she breathed her last. After some time, Shama forgot about these vows, and thus 30 years elapsed. About this time, a famous astrologer had come to Shirdi and stayed there for a month. His predictions in the case of Shriman Bhuti and others came true, and everybody was satisfied. Shama's younger brother Bapaji consulted him and was told about his mother's vows, which his elder brother had promised to fulfill at her deathbed and not yet fulfilled. Hence the goddess was displeased with them and that was bringing troubles on them. Bapaji told this to his brother Shama, who was then reminded of the unfulfilled vows. On thinking that any further delay would be dangerous, he called a goldsmith and got a pair of silver breasts prepared. Then he went to the masjid, prostrated himself before Baba, and placing before him the 2 silver breasts, requested him to accept them and free him from the vows, as to him he was his Saptashringi goddess. Then Baba insisted upon him to go himself to the temple of Saptashringi and offer them at the feet of the goddess. Thus, after taking Baba's permission and Odi, he left for Vani, and while searching for the priest, reached Kakaji's house. Kakaji was then very anxious to visit Baba, and Shama went there to see him at that very time. What a wonderful coincidence was this! Kakaji asked him who he was and where he had come from. And on learning that he had come from Shirdi, he at once embraced him. So overwhelmed was he with love. Then they talked about Sai Leelas, and after finishing the rites of Shama's vows, they both started for Shirdi. On reaching the place, Kakaji went to the masjid and fell at Baba's feet. His eyes were soon filled with tears, and his mind attained calmness. According to the vision of the goddess, no sooner did he see Baba, his mind lost all its restlessness and became calm and composed. Kakaji began to think in his mind, what a wonderful power is this? Baba spoke nothing. There was no question and answer, no benediction pronounced. The mere darshan itself was so conducive to happiness. The restlessness of my mind disappeared by his mere darshan. Consciousness of joy came upon me. This is what is called the greatness of darshan. His vision was fixed on Sai's feet, and he could utter no word. Hearing Baba's Leelas, his joy knew no bounds. He surrendered himself completely to Baba, forgot his anxiety and cares, and got undiluted happiness. He lived happily there for 12 days, and after taking Baba's leave, Udi and blessings, he returned home. Kushal Chand of Rahata. It is said that a dream which we get in the wee hours of the morning generally comes true in the waking state. This may be so, but regarding Baba's dreams, there is no restriction of time. To quote an instance, Baba told Kaka Sahib Dikshit one afternoon to go to Rahata and fetch Kushal Chand to Shirdi, as he had not seen him for a long time. Kaka Sahib accordingly took a tonga and went to Rahata. He met Kushal Chand and gave him Baba's message. On hearing it, Kushal Chand was surprised and said that while he was taking a noon nap after meals, Baba appeared in his dream and asked him to come to Shirdi immediately, and that he was anxious to go. As he had no horse of his own nearby, he had sent his son to inform Baba. When his son was just out of the village border, Dikshit's tonga had turned up. Dikshit then said he was sent specially to bring him. Then they both went in the tonga back to Shirdi. Kushal Chand saw Baba and was very pleased. Seeing this Leela of Baba, Kushal Chand was much moved. Ramlal Punjabi of Mumbai. Once a Punjabi Brahmin of Mumbai named Ramlal got a dream in which Baba appeared and asked him to come to Shirdi. Baba appeared to him as a Mahant, but he did not know his whereabouts. He thought he should go and see him, but as he did not have his address, he did not know what to do. But he who calls anybody to him also makes the necessary arrangements for the same. This happened in his case too. The same afternoon, when he was strolling in the street, he saw a picture of Baba in a shop. The features of the Mahant he saw earlier in the dream tallied exactly with those of the picture. Then, on making inquiries, he came to know that the picture was of Sai Baba of Shirdi. He went soon after this to Shirdi and stayed there till his death. In this way, Baba brought his devotees to Shirdi for darshan and satisfied their wants, material as well as spiritual. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
Om Shirdivaasaya Vidmahe Satchidanandaya Dhimahi Tanno Sai Prachodayat. Om Shirdivaasaya Vidmahe Satchidanandaya Dhimahi Tanno Sai Prachodayat. Om Shirdivaasaya Vidmahe Satchidanandaya Dhimahi Tanno Sai Prachodayat.
Chapter 31. The passing away in Baba's presence of Sannyasi Vijayanand, Balaram Mankar, Nulkar, Megha, the tiger. In this chapter, Hemat Pant describes the passing away of certain devotees and a tiger in Baba's presence. Preliminary. The last wish or thought that a man has at the hour of death decides his future course. Shri Krishna has said in Gita, "He who remembers me in his last moments, come verily to me, and he who meditates otherwise at that time goes to what he longs for." We cannot be certain that we can entertain a particular good thought at our last moment, for more often than not, we are more likely to be frightened and terrified by death. Hence, constant practice is necessary for enabling us to fix our mind on a desired good thought at any moment. All saints therefore recommend us to remember God and chant His name always, so that we may not be perplexed or perturbed when the time for departure comes. The devotees on their part surrendered themselves completely to the saints, fully believing that the saints would guide and help them in their last moments. A few such cases will be noted here. Vijayanand. A Chennai sannyasi named Vijayanand started on pilgrimage to Mansarovar. En route, on hearing Baba's fame, he halted at Shirdi. There he met one Somadevji, Swami of Haridwar, and inquired from him about the Mansarovar trip. The Swami told him that the Sarovar was 500 miles from Gangotri and described to him the difficulties of the journey, plenty of snow, and the change of dialect every 50 kos, and the suspicious nature of the local people who give a lot of trouble to pilgrims on the way. On hearing this, the sannyasi was dejected and cancelled the trip. Then, when he went to Baba and prostrated himself before him, Baba got enraged and said, "Drive out this useless sannyasi, his company is of no use." The sannyasi did not know Baba's nature. He felt discomforted, but sat there watching things that were going on. It was the morning darbar, and the masjid was overcrowded. Baba was being worshipped in various ways. Some were washing his feet, some taking the teerth or holy water and drinking it heartily, and some touching their eyes with it. Some were applying chandan and some scents to his body. And all were doing these things forgetting the distinction of caste and creed. Though Baba got enraged with him, he was filled with affection for Baba, and he did not feel like leaving the place. Vijayanand stayed in Shirdi for 2 days when he got a letter from Chennai stating that his mother was very ill. He felt very dejected and wanted to be by his mother's side, but he could not leave without Baba's permission to return home. The omniscient Baba, knowing the future, said to him, "If you so loved your mother, why did you take sannyas? Attachment makes misuse of an ochre garb. Go and sit quiet at your lodging. Wait with patience for a few days. In the Vada, there are many robbers. Bolt your doors and be very vigilant. The thieves will carry everything. Wealth and prosperity are transient, and the body is subject to decay and death. While knowing this, do your duty, leaving all attachment with the things of this world and next. He who does this and surrenders himself to the feet of Hari will get free from all troubles and attain bliss. The Lord runs and helps him who remembers and meditates on him with love and affection. Your store of past merits is considerable, so you have come here. Now, attend to what I say and realize the goal of your life. Begin from tomorrow the study of Bhagavad. Do 3 saptahs, that is 3 readings during the 3 weeks conscientiously. The Lord will be pleased with you and will destroy your sorrows, your illusions will vanish, and you will get eternal peace. On seeing that his end was approaching, Baba prescribed this remedy and made him read Ramavijaya, which pleases the god of death. Next morning, after bathing and other purifying rites, Vijayanand commenced to read Bhagavad at a secluded spot in the Lendi garden. He completed 2 readings and thereafter felt much exhausted. He returned to the Vada and stayed in his lodging for 2 days, and on the 3rd day he breathed his last on Fakir Baba's lap. Baba asked the people to preserve the body for a day for a reason. The police afterwards came and on making proper inquiries gave permission for the disposal of the body. It was buried in a proper place with due rites. In this way, Baba helped the sannyasi and ensured him Sadgati. Balaram Mankar. There was a householder devotee of Baba by named Balaram Mankar. When his wife passed away, he got dejected and, entrusting his household to his son, left home and came to Shirdi and lived with Baba. Being pleased with his devotion, Baba wanted to give him a good turn to his life, and he did it in this way. He gave him 12 rupees and asked him to go and live in Machindragad in district Satara. Mankar was first unwilling to go and stay away from Baba, but Baba convinced him that he was giving the best course for him and asked him to practice meditation thrice a day in the Gad. On believing in Baba's words, Mankar went to the Gad. He was much pleased with the serenity, pure water, healthy air, and the surroundings of the place, and began to practice the meditations as recommended by Baba. After some days, he got a revelation. Generally, bhaktas get revelation in their samadhi or trance states, but in Mankar's case, he got it when he came down to his ordinary consciousness from his trance. Baba appeared to him in person. Not only did Mankar see him, but he also asked him why he was sent there. Baba replied, "In Shirdi, many thoughts and ideas began to rise in your mind, and I sent you here to bring your unsteady mind to rest. You thought that I was in Shirdi with a body composed of the 5 elements and 3.5 cubits in length. Now you see and decide for yourself whether the person you see here now is the same you saw at Shirdi. It is for this reason that I sent you here." Then, after the period was over, Mankar left the Gad and proceeded to his native place in Bandra. He wanted to travel by rail from Pune to Dadar, but when he went to the booking office to get a ticket, he found it very much crowded. He could not get his ticket soon when a villager with a langoti on his waist and kamli on his shoulder turned up and said, "Where are you going?" "To Dadar," replied Mankar. Then he said, "Please take this Dadar ticket of mine. As I have some urgent work here, I have cancelled my Dadar trip." Mankar was very glad to receive the ticket and was taking out money from his pocket when the rustic disappeared in the crowd. Mankar tried to find him out in the crowd, but in vain. He waited for him till the train left the station, but found no trace of him. This was the second revelation Mankar got in a strange form. Then Mankar, after visiting his home, again returned to Shirdi and remained there at Baba's feet, following his bidding and advice. In the end, he was very fortunate to leave the world in the presence of Baba. Tatya Sahib Nulkar. Hemad Pant gives no particulars regarding Tatya Sahib Nulkar, except the bare mention of the fact that he gave up his ghost in Shirdi. A brief summary of his account that appeared in the Sai Leela magazine is given here. Tatya Sahib was a sub-judge at Pandharpur in 1909, when Nana Sahib Chandorkar was Mamlatdar there. Both met often and exchanged words. Tatya Sahib did not believe in saints, while Nana Sahib respected them. Nana Sahib often told him the Leelas of Sai Baba and pressed him to go to Shirdi and see Baba. Nulkar finally agreed to go to Shirdi on 2 conditions. He must get a Brahmin cook and he must get good Nagpur oranges for the presentation. Both these conditions were providentially fulfilled. A Brahmin came to Nana Sahib for service and he was sent to Tatya Sahib, and a fruit parcel containing 100 beautiful oranges were received by Tatya Sahib, the consigner being unknown. As the conditions were fulfilled, Tatya Sahib had to go to Shirdi. At first, Baba was much enraged with him, but by and by, Tatya Sahib got such experiences that he was convinced that Baba was God incarnate. So he was enamored of Baba and stayed there till his death. As his end was approaching, sacred literature was read out to him, and at the last hour, Baba's Padatirth was brought and given to him for drinking. Baba, on hearing of his death, said, "Oh, Tatya went ahead of us. he won't be reborn. Megha. The story of Megha has been already described in chapter 28. When Megha died, all the villagers followed the funeral procession. Baba also accompanied them and showered flowers on Megha's body. After the rites were performed, tears flowed from Baba's eyes. And like an ordinary mortal, Baba showed himself overcome with grief and sorrow. Then, covering the body with flowers and crying like a near relative, Baba returned to the masjid. Many saints have been seen giving Sadgati to men, but Baba's greatness is unique. Even an animal like tiger came to Baba's feet for being delivered from demerits. It is this story which will be narrated now. Tiger. 7 days before Baba passed away, a wonderful incident occurred at Shirdi. There came a country cart and stopped in front of the masjid. A tiger was on the cart, fastened with iron chains, with its agonized face turned to the rear. It was suffering from some painful malady. Its keepers had been taking it from place to place and making money by exhibiting it. It was their means of sustenance. They tried all sorts of remedies to cure it from the malady it was suffering from, but all in vain. Then they heard of Baba's fame and came to him with the animal. They got it down with chains in their hands and made it stand at the door. It was naturally fierce, besides disease-ridden, so it was restless. The people began to look at it with fright and amazement. The keepers told Baba everything about the animal and with his consent brought it before him. As it approached the steps, it retreated on account of the awe of Baba and hung its head down. When both Baba and the tiger saw each other, the tiger got onto the step and looked at Baba with affection. Immediately it moved the tuft of its tail and dashed it thrice against the ground and then fell down senseless. On seeing it dead, the keepers were much dejected and full of sorrow, but on proper thought they came to terms with it. They considered that as the animal was diseased and nearing its end, it was meritorious on its part that it met its death at the feet of Baba. It was their debtor, and when the debt was paid off, it was free and met its end at Sai's feet. When any creatures bow down their heads at saints' feet and meet death, they are liberated. Unless they have got a good store of merit on their account, how could they have got such a meritorious end? Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 32. In Quest of Guru and God. Fasting disapproved. In this chapter, Hemat Pant describes two things: how Baba met his Guru in the woods and through him God, and how Baba made Mrs. Gokhale, who had made up her mind to fast for 3 days, eat Puran Polis. Preliminary. In the beginning, Hemat Pant describes the sansar or the visible world by the allegory of Ashwatha tree, which has, in the phraseology of the Gita, roots above and branches below. Its branches are spread downward and upwards and are nourished by the gunas, and its sprouts are the objects of the senses. Its roots leading to actions are extended downwards to this world of men. Its form cannot be known in this world, nor its end, its beginning, nor its spot. After cutting this Ashwatha tree of strong roots with the sharp weapon of non-attachment, one should seek the path beyond treading, from where there is no return. For traversing this path, the help of a good guide or guru is absolutely necessary. However learned a man may be, or however deep his study of Veda and Vedant may be, he cannot reach his destination safely. If the guide be there to help him and show him the right way, he would avoid the pitfalls and the wild beasts on the journey move aside. Baba's experiences in this matter through the story which he gave out himself is really wonderful, which when attended to will give you faith, devotion and salvation. The Quest. Once 4 of us were studying religious scriptures and other books, and being thus enlightened, we began to discuss the nature of Brahma. One of us said we should raise the self with self-efforts and not depend on others. To this, the second replied that he who controls his mind is blessed. We should be free from thoughts and ideas, and there is nothing in this world without us. The third said that the world is always changing. The formless is eternal, so we should discriminate between the unreal and the real. And the fourth, which was Baba himself, urged that bookish knowledge alone is worthless. He added, "Let us do our prescribed duty and surrender our body, mind and 5 pranas to the Guru's feet. Guru is God, all-pervading. To get this conviction, strong, unbounded faith is necessary." While discussing in this way, we 4 learned men began to ramble through the woods in the quest for God. The 3 wanted to make the quest with their free and unaided intellect. On the way, a Vanjari, a man who trades in certain things such as grain by carrying them on bullock, met us and asked, "It is hot now. Where and how far are you going?" We replied, "In the woods." He inquired, "On what quest are you bound?" We gave him an ambiguous and evasive reply. On seeing us rambling aimlessly, he was moved and said, "Without knowing the woods fully, you should not wander at random. If you want to walk through forests and jungles, you should take a guide with you. Why do you exert yourselves unnecessarily during this hot noon sun? You may not give out to me your secret of the quest. Still, you can sit down, eat bread, drink water, take rest, and then go. Be always patient at heart." Though he spoke so tenderly, we discarded his request and marched on. We thought that we were self-contained men and needed nobody's help. The woods were vast and trackless. The trees therein grew so close and tall that the sun's rays could not penetrate through them. So we lost our way and wandered here and there for a very long time. Ultimately, through sheer good luck, we came back to the place from where we started. The Vanjari met us again and said, "By relying on your own cleverness, you missed your way. A guide is always necessary to show the right way in small or great matters. And no quest can be successfully carried out on an empty stomach. Unless God wills it, no one meets us on the way. Do not discard offers of food. Served dish should not be thrust away. Offers of food should be regarded as auspicious signs of success." On saying this, he again offered us food and asked us to be calm and patient. Again my companions did not like this unsolicited hospitality and discarded his offer. Without doing any quest and without taking any food, the 3 began to move out. So obstinate were they. I was hungry and thirsty, and I was moved by the Vanjari's extraordinary love. We thought ourselves very learned, but were strangers to kindness. The Vanjari was quite illiterate and unqualified fellow and belonged to a low caste. Still, he had love in his heart and asked us to eat the bread. In this way, he who loves others disinterestedly is really enlightened. And I thought acceptance of his hospitality was the best beginning of getting knowledge. So very respectfully, I accepted the loaf of bread, ate it, and drank water. Then lo, the Guru came and stood before us. What was the dispute about? He asked, and I told him everything that had happened. Then he said, "Would you like to come with me? I will show you what you want. But he alone who believes in what I say will be successful." The others did not agree to what he said and left him, but I bowed to him reverently and accepted his dictum. Then he took me to a well, tied my feet with a rope, and hung me, head downwards and feet up, from a tree near the well. I was suspended 3 feet above the water, which I could not reach with my hands or with my mouth. After suspending me in this manner, he went away, no one knew where. After 10 or 12 ghatakas, which is about 4 or 5 hours, he returned and after taking me out, quickly asked me how I fared. In bliss supreme I was. How can a fool like me describe the joy I experienced? I replied. On hearing my answer, the Guru was much pleased with me, drew me near him, and stroking my head with his hand, kept me with him. He took care of me as tenderly as a mother bird does of her young ones. He put me into his school. How beautiful it was! There I forgot my parents. All my attachment was snapped, and I was liberated easily. I thought I should embrace him and keep staring at him always. If his image was not fixed in my eyes, I would better be blind. Such was the school. No one who entered it once could return empty-handed. My Guru became my all in all, my home, mother, father, everything. All my senses left their places and concentrated themselves in my eyes, and my sight was centered on him. Thus, my Guru was the sole object of my meditation, and I was conscious of no one else. While meditating on him, my mind and intellect were silent, and I had thus to keep quiet and bow to him in silence. There are other schools where you see an altogether different spectacle. The disciples go there to seek knowledge and spend the money, time and labor, but ultimately they don't gain much. The Guru there boasts of his secret knowledge and his straightforwardness. He makes a show of his sacredness and holiness. He speaks a lot and sings his own glory, but his own words do not touch the disciples' heart, and they are not convinced. So far as self-realization is concerned, he has not reached that. How can such schools be of any use to the disciples, and how can they be benefited? The Guru mentioned above was of different type. By his grace, realizations flashed upon me of itself, without effort or study. I had nothing to seek. Everything became clear to me as broad daylight. The Guru alone knows how the inverse suspension with head down and feet up can give happiness. Among the 4, one was a karmatha who knew how to observe and abstain from certain rites. The second was dhyani, who was puffed up with pride of knowledge. And the third was a bhakta, who surrendered himself complete to God, believing that he was the sole doer. When they were discussing and arguing, the question of God came up, and they, depending on their unaided knowledge, went in search of him. Sai, who was discrimination and dispassion incarnate, was one of the 4. On being himself Brahma incarnate, some may ask, why did he get mixed with them and act foolishly? He did that for setting an example to follow. Though an incarnation himself, he respected a low Banjari by accepting his food with the firm belief that food is Brahma, and showed how those who rejected Banjari's hospitable offer suffered, and how it was impossible to get dhyan without a Guru. The Shruti in the Taittiriya Upanishad exhorts us to honor and worship mother, father and preceptor, and to study the sacred scriptures. These are the means of purifying our minds, and unless this purification is effected, self-realization is not possible. Neither the senses nor the mind and intellect reach the self. Modes of proof such as perception and inference will not help us in the matter. It is the grace of the Guru that counts. The objects of our life such as dharma, artha and kama are attainable with our effort. But the 4th object, moksha or liberation, can only be had with the help of the Guru. In the life story of Sri Sai, many personalities appear and play their part. Astrologers come and give out their predictions, princes, noblemen, ordinary and poor men, sannyasis, yogis, singers and others come for darshan. Even a mahar comes and making his salutation says, Sai is a Maa-Baap, who will do away with our rounds of births and deaths. So many others, such as jugglers, gondalis, the blind and the lame, natpantis, dancers and other players come and are given suitable reception. The Vanjari also appeared at the right time and played the part assigned to him. Let us now revert to the other story. Fasting and Mrs. Gokhale. Baba never fasted himself, nor did he allow others to do so. The mind of the person who fasts is never at ease. Then how could he attain his paramartha, goal of life? God is not attained on an empty stomach. First, the soul has to be appeased. If there be no food in the stomach and nutrition, with what eyes should we see God? With what tongue should we describe His greatness? And with what ears should we hear the same? In short, when all our organs get the proper nutrition and are sound, we can practice devotion and other sadhanas to attain God. Therefore, neither fasting nor overeating is good. Moderation in diet is really wholesome both to the body and the mind. One Mrs. Gokhale came to Shirdi with an introductory letter from Mrs. Kashibai Kanitkar, a devotee of Baba, to Dada Kelkar. She came to Baba with a determination to sit at Baba's feet and observe a 3-day fast. The previous day Baba said to Dada Kelkar that he would not allow his children to starve during the Shimga or the holy holidays, and that if they had to starve, why was he there? Next day, when the woman went with Dada Kelkar and sat at Baba's feet, Baba at once said to her, "Where is the necessity of fasting? Go to Dada Bhai's house, prepare the dish of Puran Polis with wheat rotis and gram flour and jaggery, feed his children and yourself too." Shimga holidays were on. Mrs. Kelkar was then going through her periods and there was nobody to cook in Dada Bhai's house. So Baba's advice was very timely. Then Mrs. Gokhale had to go to Dada Bhai's house and prepare the dish as directed. She cooked that day, fed others and herself. What a good story and how beautiful its import. Baba's Sarkar. Baba gave a story of his boyhood as follows. When I was a youngster, I was in search of bread and went to Bede. There, I got embroidery work. I worked hard, sparing no pains. The employer was very much pleased with me. 3 other boys worked before me. The first got 50 rupees, the second 100 rupees, and the third 150 rupees. And I was given twice the total of this amount, that is 600 rupees. After seeing my cleverness, the employer loved me, praised me, and honored me with a full dress, a turban for the head, and a shela for the body. I kept this dress intact without using it. I thought what a man might give does not last long and is always imperfect. But what my Sarkar or God gives lasts to the end of time. No other gift from any man can be compared to his. My Sarkar says, "Take, take," but everybody comes to me and says, "Give, give." Nobody attends carefully to the meaning of what I say. My Sarkar's treasury is full, it's overflowing, I say. Dig out and take away this wealth in cartloads. The blessed son of a true mother should fill himself with this wealth. The skill of my fakir, the leela of my lord, and the aptitude of my Sarkar is quite unique. What about me? Body will mix with earth, breath with air. This time won't come again. No matter where I go or where I sit, Maya always troubles me much. Still, I am always anxious for my men. He who does anything, spiritual endeavor, will reap its fruit, and he who remembers these words of mine will get invaluable happiness. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 33. Greatness of Udi. Scorpion sting and plague cases cured. Jamner miracle. Narayan Rao's sickness. Balabua Sutar. Appa Sahib Kulkarni. Hari Bhav Karnik. In the last chapter we described the greatness of the Guru. Now in this we will describe the greatness of the Udi. However, both are interlinked. The greatness of Udi is due to the spiritual grandeur of Baba. Preliminary. Let us now bow before the great saints. Their merciful glances will destroy mountains of sins and do away with all the blemishes of our character. Their talk gives us good teachings and confers on us invaluable happiness. Their minds do not know any difference, such as this is ours and that is yours. Such differentiation never arises in their minds. Their debts, obligations will never be repaid by us in this birth as well as in many future births. Udi. It is well known that Baba took dakshina from all, and out of the amount thus collected he spent on charity and purchased fuel. This fuel he put in the dhuni, the sacred fire, which he kept ever burning. The ash from this fire was called Udi, and it was freely distributed to the devotees at the time of the departure from Shirdi. What did Baba teach by this Udi? Baba taught by this Udi that all the visible phenomena in the universe are as transient as the ash. Our bodies composed of matter of the 5 elements will fall down after all their enjoyments are over and reduced to ashes. In order to remind the devotees of the fact that their bodies will be reduced to ashes, Baba distributed Udi to them. Baba also taught by the Udi that the Brahma is the only reality and the universe is ephemeral, and that no one in this world, be he her son, father or wife, is really ours. We come here in this world alone, and we have to go from here alone. It has been found that the Udi cured many physical and mental maladies, but Baba wanted to repeat into the devotees' ears the principles of discrimination between the unreal and the real. He taught non-attachment for the unreal by his Udi and Dakshina. The Udi taught us discrimination, and Dakshina taught us non-attachment. Unless we have these 2 things, it is not possible for us to cross over the sea of the mundane existence. So Baba asked for Dakshina. And while the devotees took leave, he gave Udi as prasad, smeared some of it on their foreheads, and placed his boon-conferring hand on them. When Baba was in a cheerful mood, he used to sing merrily. One such song was about Udi. The meaning of the song was, "O playful Ram, come and bring with you sacks of Udi." Baba used to sing in very clear and tender tones. So besides the spiritual implication of Udi, it had also its material significance. It conferred health, prosperity, freedom from anxiety, and many other worldly gains. So the Udi has helped us gain both our ends, material as well as spiritual. We shall now begin with the stories about the Udi. Scorpion Sting. Narayan Motiram Jani of Nasik was a devotee of Baba. He was serving under another devotee of Baba by name Ramchandra Vaman Modak. Once he went to Shirdi with his mother and saw Baba. Then Baba himself told her that her son should start independent business. Some days after this prophecy turned true, Narayan Jani left service and started a boarding house, Anand Ashram, which thrived well. Once a friend of this, Narayan Rao, was stung by a scorpion, and the pain caused by it was severe and unbearable. Udi is most efficacious in such cases. It is to be applied on the point of pain, and so Narayan Rao searched for it but found none. Then he stood before Baba's picture and invoked Baba's aid, chanted Baba's name, and taking out a pinch of the ashes of the joss stick burning in front of Baba's picture, and thinking it as Baba's Udi, applied it on the seat of pain and the sting. As soon as he moved his fingers, the pain vanished, and both the persons were moved and felt delighted. Bubonic Plague Case. Once a devotee in Bandra came to know that his daughter, who was staying in another place, was down with bubonic plague. He had no Udi with him, so he sent word to Nana Sahib Chandorkar to send the same. Nana Sahib got this message en route Thana railway station when he was travelling with his wife to Kalyan. He had no Udi with him then. He therefore took up some dust from the road, meditated upon Sai Baba, invoked his aid, and applied it to his wife's forehead. The devotee was very glad to learn that his daughter, who was suffering for 3 days, began to improve from the very moment Nana Sahib invoked Baba's aid near the Thana railway station. The Jamner Miracle. In the year 1904-05, Nana Sahib Chandorkar was Mamlatdar at Jamner in the Khandesh district, which is more than 100 miles from Shirdi. His daughter Mainatai was pregnant and was due to deliver. Her case was very serious and she was suffering from labor pains for the last 2 or 3 days. Nana Sahib tried all remedies but in vain. He then remembered Baba and invoked his aid. There in Shirdi, one Ramgir Bua, whom Baba called Bapugir Bua, was leaving for his native place in Khandesh. Baba called him and told him to stop at Jamner on his way home and give the Odi and Arati to Nana Sahib. Ramgir Bua said he had only 2 rupees with him, and this amount was barely sufficient for the railway fare up to Jalgaon, and it was not possible for him to go from Jalgaon to Jamner, a distance of about 30 miles. Baba assured him that he need not care, as everything would be provided for. Then Baba asked Shama to write a well-known arati composed by Madhav Adkar and gave a copy of it with Udi to Ramgir Bua to be delivered to Nana Sahib. Then, relying on Baba's words, Ramgir Bua left Shirdi and reached Jalgaon at about 2:45 a.m. He had only 2 annas left with him and he was in a plight. To his great relief, he heard somebody calling out, "Who is Bapugir Bua of Shirdi?" He went to him and told him that he was Bapugir Bua. Then the person, professing to be sent by Nana Sahib, took him to an excellent tonga with a good pair of horses. They both drove in it. The tonga ran fast and early in the morning they came to a brooklet. The man took the horses for watering them and he asked Ramgir Bua to partake of some eatables. On seeing that person's beard, moustache and livery, Ramgir Bua suspected him to be a Muslim and was unwilling to take any refreshments from him. But the man satisfied Ramgir Bua, saying that he was a Hindu, a Kshatriya of Garhwal, and that Nana Sahib had sent these refreshments and there should be no difficulty in its acceptance. Then both of them took the refreshments and started again. They reached Jamner at dawn. Ramgir Bua alighted to attend a call of nature and returned within a few minutes, but found there was no tonga and no driver. He was dumbfounded. Then he went to the neighbouring kacheri and on making inquiries learned that the Mamlatdar was at home. He went to Nana Sahib's house and gave Nana Sahib Baba's Udi and Arati. At this time, Mainatai's case was in the most serious condition and all were in deep anxiety about her. Nana Sahib called out his wife and asked her to give the Udi mixed with water to their daughter to drink. He thought that Baba's help was most opportune. In a few minutes came the news that the delivery was safe and that the crisis had passed away. When Ramgir Bua thanked Nana Sahib for the pune, tonga and the refreshments, Nana Sahib was greatly surprised, as he had sent none to the station and was not aware of any person coming from Shirdi. Mr. B.V. Dev of Thana, retired Mamlatdar, made inquiries about this matter with Bapu Rao Chandorkar, son of Nana Sahib, and Ramgir Bua of Shirdi, and after satisfying himself, wrote an elaborate article, part prose and part poetry, in the Sri Sai Leela magazine, volume 13, number 11, 12 and 13. B.V. Narasimhaswamy has also taken down the statements of Mainatai and Bapu Sahib Chandorkar and Ramgir Bua, dated 1st June 1936, 16 September 1936 and 1st December 1936 respectively, and published them in his Devotees' Experiences Part 3. The following is quoted from Ramgir Bua's statement. One day, Baba called me to him and gave me a packet of Udi and a copy of Baba's Arati. I had to go to Khandesh at the time. Baba directed me to go to Jamner and told me to deliver the Arati and Udi to Nana Sahib Chandorkar at Jamner. I said to Baba that all I had was 2 rupees and asked him how that could take me by train from Kopargaon to Jalgaon and next from Jalgaon to Jamner. Baba said, God will give. That was a Friday, and I started at once. I reached Manmad at 7:30 p.m. and Jalgaon at 2:45 a.m. At that time, plague regulations were enforced and I had much trouble. I was to discover what I should do to get to Jamner. At about 3 a.m., a peon in boots, turban, and equipped with other details of good dress came to me and took me to a tonga and drove me on. On the way at Bhaghur, I took refreshments. We reached Jamner early in the morning, and by the time I attended my call of nature, the tonga and its driver had disappeared. Narayan Rao. Bhakt Narayan Rao had the good fortune to see Baba twice during the latter's lifetime. 3 years after the passing away of Baba in 1918, he wanted to come to Shirdi but could not. Within a year of Baba's Mahasamadhi, he fell sick and suffered much. All possible remedies gave him no relief, so he meditated on Baba day and night. One night, he had a vision. Baba came through a cellar, comforted him saying, "Don't be anxious. You will be improving from tomorrow, and within a week, you will be on your legs." Narayan Rao got perfectly well within the time indicated in the vision. Now the point for consideration is this. Was Baba living because he had the body, or was he dead because he left it? No, Baba is ever alive, for he transcends both life and death. He who loved him wholeheartedly gets response from him at any time and at any place. He is always by our side and will take any form, appear before the devout bhakta and satisfy him. Appa Sahib Kulkarni. In 1917, Appa Sahib Kulkarni was transferred to Thana and began to worship Baba's picture presented to him by Bala Sahib Bhatte. In real earnest he did the worship. He offered flowers, sandal paste and Naivedya daily to Baba in the picture and longed intently to see him. In this connection, it may be remarked that seeing Baba's picture earnestly is equal to seeing him in person. The following story illustrates this statement. Balabuva Sutar. A saint of Mumbai named Balabuva Sutar, who on account of his piety, devotion and style was called modern Tukaram. He came to Shirdi for the first time in 1917. When he bowed before Baba, the latter said, "I know this man since 4 years. Balabuva wondered and thought how could that be, as that was his first trip to Shirdi. But thinking about it seriously, he recollected that he had prostrated himself 4 years ago before Baba's portrait at Mumbai. He was convinced about the significance of Baba's words. He said to himself, how omniscient and all-pervading are the saints, and how kind are they to the devotees. I merely bowed to his photo, but this fact was noticed by Baba, and in due time he made me realize that seeing his photo is equivalent to seeing him in person. Now we return to Appa Sahib's story. While he was in Thana, he had to go on tour to Bhiwandi and was expected to return after a week. In his absence, the following wonderful thing took place on the 3rd day. At noon, a fakir turned up at Appa Sahib's house. His features resembled exactly those of Baba's photo. Mrs. Kulkarni and the children all asked him whether he was Sai Baba of Shirdi. He said no, but that he was an obedient servant of his and came there at his order to inquire after the well-being of the family. Then he asked for dakshina. The lady gave him a rupee. He gave her a small packet of udi and asked her to keep this in the shrine. Then he left the house and went away. Now hear the wonderful leela of Sai. Appa Sahib could not proceed with his tour as his horse fell sick at Bhiwandi. He returned home that afternoon and learned from his wife about the fakir's visit. He got very restless as he did not have the darshan of the fakir. Moreover, he did not like that only 1 rupee was paid to him as dakshina. He said that had he been present, he would have paid not less than 10 rupees. Then He immediately started in quest of the fakir and searched for him in the masjid and other places without taking any food. His search was in vain. He then returned home and took his food. The readers may remember that Baba's dictum in chapter 32, God's quest should not be made on an empty belly. After his meals, he went out for a walk with a friend, Mr. Chitre. After going some distance, they saw a man approaching them rapidly. Appa Sahib thought he must be the fakir that came to his house at noon, as his features tallied with those of Baba in the photo. The fakir immediately put forth his hand and asked for dakshina. Appa Sahib gave him a rupee. He demanded again, and so Appa Sahib gave him 2 more. Still, he was not satisfied. Then he borrowed 3 rupees from Mr. Chitre and gave them to him. He wanted still more. Appa Sahib asked him to accompany him to his home. Then they all returned home and Appa Sahib gave him 3 rupees, in all 9. He looked unsatisfied and demanded again. Then Appa Sahib told him that he had a currency note of 10 rupees. The fakir asked for the same, took it and returned the 9 rupees and went away. Appa Sahib had earlier said that he would pay 10 rupees and that sum was taken from him, and 9 rupees consecrated by Baba's touch were returned to him. The figure 9 is significant. It denotes the 9 types of devotion. It may also be noted here that Baba gave 9 coins to one Lakshmibai Shinde at his last moment. Appa Sahib examined the udi packet and found that it contained some flower leaves and akshata. Then some time afterwards, he got a hair from Baba when he saw him at Shirdi. He put the udi packet and the hair in a taweez and wore it always on his arm. Appa Sahib realized the power of the udi. Though he was very efficient, he got 40 rupees as pay in the beginning, but after he secured Baba's photo and his udi, he got many times more and also got much power and influence, and along with these temporal benefits, his spiritual progress was also rapid. So those who are fortunate enough to get Baba's udi should, after bath, apply it on the forehead and take some of it mixed with water as holy tirth. Haribhav Karnik. In 1917, Haribhav Karnik of the Hanu in Thana district came to Shirdi on the Guru Purnima day in the month of Ashad and worshipped Baba with all the formalities. He offered clothes and dakshina and after taking Baba's leave, got down the steps of the masjid. Then he thought he should offer 1 more rupee to Baba and was just turning to climb again when Shama signalled him by gesture that as he had got Baba's leave, he should go and not return. So he started for home. On his way, when he went into the temple of Kala Ram at Nasik for darshan, the Saint Narsingh Maharaj, who used to sit inside the temple, came to Haribhav, caught him by the wrist and said, "Give me my 1 rupee." Karnik was surprised. He paid the rupee most willingly and thought Sai Baba recovered the rupee which he intended in his mind to give through Saint Narsingh Maharaj. This story illustrates the fact that all saints are one and illustrates how they work in unison. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
Sai Baba, Shri Guru Sai Baba.
Sai Baba, Satguru Shirdi Baba.
Mangal Giridhar Sai Baba,
Mangal Giridhar Sai Baba,
Shri Guru Purna Sai Baba,
Shri Guru Purna Sai Baba,
Karuna Sagar Sai Baba,
Karuna Sagar Sai Baba,
Nitya Niranjana Sai Baba,
Nitya Niranjana Sai Baba,
Sai Baba, Sai Baba, Shri Guru Sai Baba.
Sai Baba, Satguru Shirdi Baba.
Chapter 34. Greatness of Odi continued from the last chapter. Doctor's nephew, Dr. Pillai, Shama's sister-in-law, Irani girl, Harda gentleman, Mumbai lady. This chapter continues the subject Greatness of Odi and describes cases in which the application of Odi was most efficacious. Doctor's nephew. In Malegaon there lived a doctor. His nephew suffered from an incurable disease, tubercular bone abscess. The doctor, along with his relatives and medical practitioners, tried all sorts of remedies and even a surgery. There was no relief and no end to the little boy's suffering. Friends and relatives advised the parents of the boy to seek divine aid and recommended them to go to Sai Baba, who was known to have cured such incurable cases by his mere glance. The parents therefore came to Shirdi. They prostrated themselves before Baba, placed the boy before him, and pleaded humbly and implored him to save their son. The merciful Baba comforted them, saying, "Those who resort to this masjid shall never suffer anything in this life to the end of time. Now do not worry. Apply Odi on the abscess, and within a week he will recover. Believe in God. This is no masjid, but Dwarka Mai. He who steps here will soon get health and happiness, and his sufferings will come to an end." The boy was made to sit before Baba, who moved his hands on the affected part and cast his loving glances on him. The patient was pleased, and with the application of the Odi, he began to recover and was all right after some days. The parents then left Shirdi with their son, thanking Baba for the cure which was effected by Odi and Baba's gracious looks. After knowing this, the doctor, the uncle of the boy, became wonderstruck and desired to see Baba while he was on his way to Mumbai for some business. At Malegaon and Manmat, somebody spoke to him against Baba and poisoned his ears. Therefore, he dropped the idea of visiting Shirdi and went to Mumbai direct. He wanted to spend the rest of his leave at Alibag, but at Mumbai he heard 3 successive nights a voice saying, "Still do you disbelieve me?" Then the doctor changed his mind and resolved to go to Shirdi. He had to attend to a case of infectious fever in Mumbai which showed no signs of quick abatement. So he thought that his Shirdi trip would be postponed. However, he proposed a test in his mind and said, "If the patient gets all right by today, I will start for Shirdi tomorrow." The wonder is that exactly from the time when the determination was done, the fever began to abate and the temperature became normal. Then he went to Shirdi as per his decision and took Baba's darshan and prostrated himself before him. Baba gave him such experiences that he became his devotee. He stayed there for 4 days and returned home with Baba's Udi and blessings. Within a fortnight, he was transferred in promotion to Bijapur. His nephew's case gave him an opportunity for seeing Baba, and this visit garnered in him a never-failing love for the saint's feet. Dr. Pillai. One Dr. Pillai was an intimate devotee of Baba. He was much liked by Baba, who always called him Bhau or brother. Baba talked to him off and on and consulted him in all matters and wanted him always to be at his side. This Pillai suffered once very badly from guinea worms. He said to Kaka Sahib Dikshit, "The pain is most excruciating and unbearable. I prefer death to it. This pain I know is for repaying past karma. But go to Baba and tell him to cease the pain and transfer the balance of my past karma to 10 future births of mine." Mr. Dikshit went to Baba and told him his request. Then Baba, being moved by his request, said to Dikshit, "Tell him to be fearless. Why should he suffer for 10 births? In 10 days he can work out the sufferings and consequences of his past karma. While I am here to give him temporal and spiritual welfare, why should he pray for death? Bring him here on somebody's back and let us work and finish his sufferings once for all." The doctor was brought in that condition and was seated on Baba's right side. Baba gave him his bolster and said, "Lie down calmly here and be at ease. The true remedy is that the result of past actions has to be suffered and got over. Our karma is the cause of our happiness and sorrow. Therefore, put up with whatever comes to you. Allah is the sole dispenser and protector. Think of Him always. He will take care of you. Surrender to Him with body, mind and speech, and then see what He does. Dr. Pillai said Nana Sahib had put a bandage over the leg, but he had no relief. Oh, Nana is a fool, said Baba. Take off that bandage or else you will die. Now a crow will come and peck at you, and then you will recover. While this conversation was going on, Abdul, who always cleaned the masjid and trimmed the lamps, turned up. While he was attending to his work, his foot accidentally fell upon the stretched leg of Dr. Pillai. The leg was already swollen, and when Abdul's foot fell upon it and pressed it, all the 7 guinea worms were squeezed out at once. The pain was unbearable, and Dr. Pillai cried out loudly. After some time, he calmed down and began to sing and cry alternately. Then Pillai inquired when the crow was coming and pecking. Baba said, "Did you not see the crow? He won't come again. Abdul was the crow. Now go and rest in the wada, and you'll be soon all right." By application of the udi, and by taking it orally with water, without taking any other treatment or medicine, the disease was completely cured in 10 days, as assured by Baba. Shama's sister-in-law. Shama's younger brother Bapaji was staying near the Savli well. Once his wife was attacked with bubonic plague. She had high fever and 2 buboes in her groin. Bapaji rushed to Shama at Shirdi and asked him to come and help. Shama was frightened, but according to his custom, he went to Baba, prostrated himself before him to invoke his aid by requesting him to cure the case. He also asked his permission to go to his brother's house. Baba said, "Do not go there at this late hour. Send her the udi. Why care for the fever and buboes? God is our father. She will be all right easily. Do not go now. Go there in the morning and return immediately." Shama had full faith in Baba's udi. It was sent with Bapaji. It was applied on the buboes, and some of it was mixed with water given to the patient for drinking. No sooner was it taken in, perspiration set in profusely, the fever abated, and the patient had a sound sleep. Next morning, Bapaji was surprised to see his wife all right, with no fever and no buboes. When Shama went there next morning with Baba's permission, he was also surprised to see her in the kitchen preparing tea. On questioning his brother, he learnt that Baba's udi cured her completely in one night. Then Shama realized the significance of Baba's words, "Go there in the morning and return immediately." After taking tea, Shama returned, and after saluting Baba said, "Deva, what is this play of yours? You first raise a storm and make us restless, and then calm it down and comfort us." Baba replied, "You see, mysterious is the path of action. Though I do nothing, they hold me responsible for the actions which take place on account of destiny. I am only their witness. The Lord is the sole doer and inspirer. He is most merciful. Neither I am God nor master. I am His obedient servant and remember Him constantly. He who casts aside his egoism and thanks Him, and he who trusts Him entirely, will have his shackles removed and will obtain liberation." Irani's daughter. Now read the experience of an Irani gentleman. His young daughter got fits every hour. When the convulsions came, she lost her power of speech, her limbs contracted, and she fell down senseless. No remedy gave her any relief. Some friend recommended Baba's udi to her father and asked him to get it from Kaka Sahib Dikshit at Billy Parlour. Then the Irani gentleman got the udi and gave it mixed with water to his daughter daily for drinking. In the beginning, the convulsions which were coming hourly came every 7 hours, and after a few days, the daughter recovered completely. Harda gentleman. An old gentleman of Harda was suffering from a stone in his kidney. Such stones are generally removed by surgical operations, and people recommended him to undergo one. He was old and weak, lacked strength of mind, and could not think of submitting himself to surgical treatment. His suffering was soon to end in another way. The Inamdar of that town happened to come there at that time. He was a devotee of Baba and always had a stock of udi with him. On the recommendation of friends, his son got some udi from him and after mixing it with water gave it to his old father to drink. Within 5 minutes, the udi was assimilated, the stone was dissolved and came out through the urine, and the old man was soon relieved. Mumbai Lady. A woman of the Kais Prabhu caste in Mumbai always suffered terrible pain at her delivery. She was very much frightened each time she got pregnant and did not know what to do. Sri Ramamurthy of Kalyan, who was a devotee of Baba, advised her husband to take her to Shirdi. When she next became pregnant, both husband and wife came to Shirdi, stayed there for some months and worshipped Baba. After some time, the hour of delivery came and as usual, there was obstruction in the passage from the womb. She began to suffer labor pains, did not know what to do, but began to pray to Baba for relief. In the meantime, some neighboring women turned up and after invoking Baba's aid, gave her udi mixture to drink. In 5 minutes, the woman delivered safely and painlessly. The issue was stillborn according to its fate, but the mother, who got rid of the anxiety and pain, thanked Baba for the safe delivery and ever remained grateful to him. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 35. Tested and never found wanting. Kaka Mahajani's friend and master. Bandra insomnia case. Bala Patil Nevaskar. This chapter also continues the subject of the importance and effectiveness of the udi. It also gives 2 cases in which Baba was tested and not found wanting. These cases will be taken up first. Preliminary. In spiritual matters or endeavors, sectarianism is the greatest bar to our progress. Those who believe that God is without form are heard saying that to believe that God is with form is an illusion, and that saints are only human beings. Then why should they bow down their heads before them and offer dakshina? Persons belonging to other sects will also raise objections and say, why should they bow and offer allegiance to other saints, leaving their own gurus? Similar objections regarding Sai Baba were heard before and even now. Some said when they went to Shirdi, Baba asked for dakshina from them. Is it good that saints should collect money in this fashion? If they do, where is their sainthood? But there are many instances where men went to Shirdi to scoff, but remained there to pray. 2 such instances are given below. Kaka Mahajani's friend. A friend of Kaka Mahajani was a worshipper of Nirgun, God without form. He was averse to idolatry. Out of curiosity, he agreed to go to Shirdi with Kaka Mahajani on 2 conditions: that he would neither bow down to Baba nor pay him any dakshina. Kaka agreed to these conditions and they both left Mumbai on a Saturday night and reached Shirdi the next morning. As soon as they put their feet on the steps of the masjid, Baba, looking at the friend from a little distance, addressed him in sweet words as follows: "Oh, welcome, sir." The tone in which he uttered these words was a very peculiar one. It exactly resembled the tone of the friend's father. It reminded him of his departed father and sent a thrill through his body. What an enchanting power the tone had! Being surprised, the friend said, "This is no doubt the voice of my father." Then he at once went up and, forgetting his resolution, placed his head upon Baba's feet. Then Baba asked for dakshina twice, once in the morning and again at noon, at the time of the taking leave, but he asked it from Kaka only and not from the friend. The latter whispered to Kaka, "Baba asked for dakshina from you twice. I am with you, why does he ignore me?" "You ask Baba yourself," was Kaka's reply. Baba asked Kaka what his friend was whispering. Then the friend asked Baba himself whether he should pay any dakshina. Baba replied, "You had no mind to pay, so you were not asked. But if you want to pay now, you may." Then the friend paid 17 rupees as dakshina, the same amount that Kaka paid. Baba then addressed a few words of advice. "You destroyed the Teli's wall, sense of difference between us, so that we can see and meet each other face to face." Then Baba allowed them to leave. Though the weather was cloudy and rough, Baba assured them of their safe journey, and both of them reached Mumbai safely. When he reached home and opened the door and the windows of his house, he found 2 sparrows dead on the ground and one just flying out through a window. He thought if he had left the windows open, 2 sparrows would have been saved, but thought again that they had met their lot and that Baba had sent him back soon just to save the 3rd sparrow. Kaka Mahajani's master. Kaka was a manager in the firm of Thakkar Dharmase Jethabai, a solicitor of Mumbai. Both the master and the manager were on intimate terms. Mr. Thakkar knew that Kaka was often going to Shirdi, staying there for some days and returning when Baba permitted him. Out of curiosity, Mr. Thakkar decided to go to Shirdi with Kaka during the Shimga holidays. As Kaka's return was uncertain, he took another man with him for his company. The 3 started together and Kaka bought 2 seers of raisins on the way for presentation to Baba. They reached Shirdi in due time and went to the masjid for darshan. Baba Sahib Tarkhad was also there, and Mr. Thakkar asked him why he came there. "For darshan," Tarkhad replied. Mr. Thakkar asked if miracles took place there. Tarkhad replied, "Miracles was not the concern. The earnest intentions of the bhaktas were satisfied there." Then Kaka prostrated himself before Baba and offered the raisins to him. Baba ordered them to be distributed. Mr. Thakkar also got a few of them. He did not want to have the raisins, as he was advised by his doctor not to eat them without washing and cleaning them. So he was in a fix. He did not want to eat them, nor could he reject them. To keep up formalities, he put them into his mouth but did not know what to do with the seeds. He could not spit them out on the floor of the masjid, so he pocketed them against his wish. He then said in his mind that if Baba was a saint, how could he be ignorant of his dislike for the raisins, and how could he force them on him? When this thought arose in his mind, Baba again gave him some more raisins. He could not eat them, but held them in his hand. Then Baba asked him to eat them up. He obeyed and found to his surprise that they were all seedless. He wanted to see miracles, and here was one. He knew that Baba read his thought and, as per his wish, converted raisins with seeds into seedless grapes. What a wonderful power! Again, to test further, he asked Tarkhad, who was sitting by and who also got some raisins, "What kind of grapes did you get?" Tarkhad replied, "The variety with seeds." Mr. Thakkar was still more surprised to hear this. Then, to confirm his faith further, Thakkar thought in his mind that if Baba was a real saint, the raisins should be now given to Kaka first. Reading this thought also, Baba ordered that distribution should be commenced from Kaka. These proofs were sufficient for Thakkar. Then Shama introduced Mr. Thakkar as a master of Kaka, upon which Baba said, "How could he be his master? He has got a different master altogether." Kaka appreciated this reply. After forgetting his resolve, Thakkar saluted Baba and returned to the Wada. After the noon Aarti was over, they all went to the masjid for taking Baba's leave for their departure. Shama spoke for them. Baba then spoke as follows. There was a fickle-minded gentleman. He had health and wealth and was free from physical and mental afflictions. But he took on needless anxieties and burdens and wandered hither and thither, thus losing his peace of mind. Sometimes he dropped the burdens and at other times carried them again. His mind knew no steadiness. On seeing his state, I took pity on him and said, "Now keep your faith on one place you like. Why roam like this?" Thakkar at once understood this. This was an exact description of himself. He wished that Kaka should also return with him, but no one expected that Kaka would be allowed to leave Shirdi so soon. Baba read this thought also and permitted Kaka to return with his master. Then Baba asked Kaka for 15 rupees as dakshina and received it. He said, "If I take 1 rupee as dakshina from anybody, I have to return 10-fold to him. I never take anything gratis. I never ask anyone indiscriminately. I only ask and take from him whom the fakir points out. If anyone is indebted formally to the fakir, dakshina is received from him. The donor gives, that is, sows his seeds only to reap a rich harvest in future. Wealth should be the means to work out dharma. If it is used for personal enjoyment, it is wasted. Unless you have given it before, you do not get it now. So the best way to receive is to give. The giving of dakshina advances vairagya and thereby bhakti and dhyan. Give 1 and receive 10-fold." On hearing these words, Mr. Thakkar himself gave 15 rupees in Baba's hand, forgetting his earlier resolve not to do so. He thought it was good that he came to Shirdi, as all his doubts were solved and he learnt so much. Baba's skill in handling such cases was unique. Though he conducted all that, he was totally non-attached to them. Whether anybody saluted him or not, or whether anybody gave him dakshina or not, all was same to him. He felt no pleasure if he was worshipped, and felt no pain if he was disregarded. He had transcended the powers of opposites, pleasure and pain. Insomnia case. A pious Prabhu gentleman of Bandra suffered from insomnia for long. As soon as he lay down for sleep, his departed father appeared to him in his dream, abused and scolded him severely. This disturbed his sleep and made him restless the whole night. Every night this went on and the man did not know what to do. One day he consulted a devotee of Baba in this respect. He recommended the Udi as the only infallible remedy he knew. He gave him some of the Udi and asked him to apply a little on his forehead before going to bed and keep the Udi packet under the pillow. He tried this remedy and found, to his great surprise and joy, that he had a sound sleep and there was no disturbance of any kind. He continued the remedy and always remembered Sai. Then he got a picture of Sai Baba, which he hung on the wall near his pillow and started worshipping it daily, and on Thursdays he offered garland and Naivedya. Then he got well and forgot his trouble altogether. Balaji Patil Nevaskar. This man was a great devotee of Baba. He rendered excellent and selfless service. Every day he swept and kept clean all the passages and streets in Shirdi through which Baba passed in his daily routine. After him, this work was done equally well by another devotee, Radha Krishna Mai, and after her by Abdullah. When Balaji reaped his corn every year, he brought the whole quantity and presented it to Baba. He returned with what Baba gave him back and maintained himself and his family with it. This course was followed by him for many years and after him by his son too. Power and efficacy of Udi. Once it happened that at Balaji's death anniversary, a certain number of guests were invited and the dinner was prepared for them. But at the dinner time, it was found that thrice the number of people invited had turned up. Mrs. Nevaskar was in a fix. She thought that the food would not be sufficient for the people assembled, and if it fell short, the honor of the family would be at stake. Her mother-in-law comforted her by saying, "Do not be afraid. It is not ours but Sai's food. Cover every vessel with cloth, putting some udi in it, and serve from the same without opening it. Sai will save us from ignominy." She did as she was advised, and it was found to their surprise and joy that not only did the food suffice for all, but plenty of it remained after serving. As one feels intently, so he realizes accordingly was proved in this case. Sai appearing as serpent. Once Raghu Patil of Shirdi went to Balaji Patil at Nivas. That evening he found that a serpent entered the cowshed hissing. All the cattle were afraid and became restless. The inmates of the house were frightened, but Balaji thought that it was Sai, who appeared in his house as a serpent. Without being afraid in the least, he brought a cup of milk and placing it before the serpent said, "Baba, why do you hiss like this? Do you want to frighten us? Take this cup of milk and drink it with a calm mind." Saying this, he sat down close by. The other members were frightened and did not know what to do. In a short time, the serpent disappeared of its own, and nobody knew where it went. It was not found, though a thorough search was made in the cowshed. Balaji had 2 wives and some children. They sometimes went to Shirdi from Nivas for taking Baba's darshan. Then Baba brought saris and other clothes which were given to them with his blessings. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
सुख